Once I was prescribed my medication, the happiness of getting that relief, being able to actually think and feel, not just pain, was an amazing moment. A moment that lasts all of, 2 days. The gratitude that I had for not being in pain as much as I was short-lived once I realized how much pain I was still in. I would not say that the 1 to 4 week period was the hardest time. I wouldn't say it was the hardest time. I would say it was definitely the most painful. Definitely the most trying. Whether I was going to jump off a freaking cliff or not. But it wasn't the hardest. I would say the hardest time was probably the next 2 to 3 months. Every date is blurry for me. I was all out of my mind on frickin' painkillers. What do you expect? The next 2-3 month period, that was the struggle. I had thoughts of, why me? I hate the world. I'm in so much pain. What did I do to deserve this? Screaming to the sky, crying to the sky. How could this happen to me? That thinking was the worst time, the worst part of my entire experience. The time when I was sulking in my own despair. The time when I thought that I was the unlucky one. I like to describe it as the first, 1 to 4 weeks, I was drowning. I wasn't given any platform to jump off of. I was just drowning in water. Or I was just drowning. And when I had my pain medication, it gave me a platform so I could jump up. So I gotta start swimming up, and instead I decided to just jump off my platform and just continue drowning. And it all changed the day that I woke up when I looked myself in the eyes in my mirror and I said, I do not want to live like this anymore. Now, keep in mind, during this whole time, freaking time of the worst part, the 2-3 months after I was prescribed my medication, going through, all the emotions and feelings caught up with going through pain, I had to do school still. And I didn't get to just sit around and sulk. I actually had to do school. And that was an interesting experience. The way that we did it was I got a 504 thing, which pretty much says I'm a special needs child. And the only way I could do it was I could only go to school at my very best. I could take one class, usually 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Actually, I think I went to a class 4 times a week, like once. I never went to math class. Thankfully, I was in Algebra 1, which I already took the year before in junior high, so I knew it. So I never went to that class. The teacher for my Algebra 1 class was really cool, and he just gave me the stuff. I would come in after school whenever I was there at school to pick up my homework. I was exempt from a lot of homework. I had to do school still, even with as much exemptions and help as they gave me, thankfully. And I'll tell you, even though it's just Algebra 1, even though I already did this math, doing Algebra 1 with a pain level that I can only describe that I wanted to die is, to say the least, not the easiest thing in the world. I think I got a B in that class during that time. And the only reason I didn't get an A in that class is it's really hard to pay attention to little details in math when you cannot focus on little details. For the rest of my freshman year, that's how I did my school. And I passed freshman year with a thanks to all my teachers and the school for helping me, and my sister. And then next year, sophomore year, they came out with a system where it was homeschooling. They had a homeschool program that was through the school. I could do my school online, but I still stayed in the school. It still looks like I go to my school. That's how I still do high school. It's just online. And it's so much easier being able to do homework and school when you can, instead of having to go to school only when you're able. I mean, this was freshman classes. The schooling was not the hard part. It was just something that distracted me. What was so hard was living with the idea that I am less than I was, that I used to be this and this and now I'm this. Why was I going through this? It just propelled me further down. I put all my focus and attention on my pain. I put all my focus and attention on the things that were wrong. If you can endure any given day of your pain, you can endure your pain. For me, how I changed how I thought, how I changed how I was always looking at the negative, and even at my worst, when I felt my worst, how I changed thinking about all the downside of what I was going through. I thought, can I endure my pain today? And the answer was yes, I can live with it today. And I wasn't asking myself, can I live with it forever? Can I live with it tomorrow? Will I be able to? It was today. And when I realized that my answer was yes, it made it real easy. Because if I can endure it today, I can endure it tomorrow. And if I can endure it tomorrow, I can endure it forever. That's how I changed my thinking. That's where it started. The day that I realized I could endure my pain was when it changed. It snapped in my head. I went, what if I have to live with this forever? I thought, what if this is who I am now? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sulk. I'm not going to have to be inspired by people to do anything. I'm not going to let a lot of pain dictate me into what I'm going to do. If this is never going to stop, then how am I going to live with it? So that's what I started doing.